Some unbelievable footwork from a second-row forward, Stephen Menzies. I know we give this player plenty of rest. Well, you see on the footwork here, he's able to make the man just grasp at thin air, gets the ball away quickly, and Terry Hill overran it. He's probably looking for the ball a little earlier and had to reach back with the left hand and put it down. Illawarra with a chance to score first now in this second half and put some pressure on.
And if Illawarra are going to win this game, Gus, you'd have to agree they need errors like that.
Well, you do. You need to stop the opposition once or twice in the game to get your victory.
Brett Rodwell.
They've been able to do it a couple of times to Manly. They've got to capitalise on that now and score first.
Looking strong offload, Mia David. Good ball from David. McGregor, Hopewadi showing great pace. McGregor the ball back inside. Maybe a touch ambitious, but it is sevens. Trent Barrett was the man who put it down.
And Trent Barrett should have been looking for this ball the whole time. McGregor has the ability to hold the ball in the outstretched arm and get one-arm passes around the corner. He was always positioning Hopewadi to get that ball back on the inside, and it took Trent Barrett by surprise. Just a little more experience to put in the can for Trent Barrett. He'll remember that next time. Playing with great players like Paul McGregor, you never give up on them when they've got possession of the ball.
Well, Manly blew a try a few minutes ago, if you can recall, in that corner with Terry Hill, and that was a blown try by Illawarra.
Hancock, who in the absence of Matthew Ridge for Manly this year would be hoping to win that fullback position. Menzies through the line now, field back on the park. Lines cut out. Danny Moore. He's ruled that forward, which Danny Moore not too happy about.
No, well, it was a misdirected pass, and the referee, I think, quite within his rights there. That ball probably travelled forward. A couple of little dropped heads there from Manly, unlike them, to show emotion when they make a mistake. But with only 4 minutes left on the clock, a try to Illawarra now really puts the pressure on them. It's very, very important that Illawarra score from this set.
Wadi came over the top. Saru goes for a gallop himself. Philly Saru, 10 metres out. Callaway at dummy half. Here's McGregor. Can he get across? Can he what? Straight under the post. Just how good is he?
Have you seen a bloke with better footwork than McGregor? He floats across the ground. Incredible footwork.
He certainly did. I think he eyed Cliffy Lyons standing underneath the post there for Manly. McGregor big and strong and with great footwork. Able to put that underneath the post. 6 in front here with 3 minutes to go. Oh no, he's missed it.
Oh mate, crucial miss that.
Trent Barrett should have put that one over. It was directly in front, and it would have given them a 6-point break over Manly, and under 3 minutes to go in this contest, but that's quite a long time in Sevens Rugby League. Innes upended, gets the pass away. Manly, well, we probably didn't see him make this many mistakes in the entire season of 1996.
Well, that's the mistake they needed. Illawarra, if they can score here, this could be the ball game.
The Steelers have been given every opportunity by the Sea Eagles. Standing up. Just couldn't get away, Barrett.
Terry Hill with a last-minute grasp there on the back of the jersey.
David, who likes to run down the blind side. Makes some good ground. Callaway. Now McGregor looking to involve himself, and why not?
Very rarely tackled with the ball, Paul McGregor, able to get it away from impossible situations. Illawarra growing in strength here.
Saru.
2 minutes to go.
Philly Saru looking to stand up Hopewadi. He takes him on, he gets past Hopewadi, but just lost his footing. Timmins is hit.
Manly have to hold them out here if they're any hope of winning the game.
I thought a punch was thrown there by Hopewadi. Through the hands. McGregor has absolutely thrown it away.
Yeah, a little bit of sweat getting on the ball. It is very, very hot down there, and with these synthetic footballs, the worst The worst thing for the good handling of the ball is sweat. Rain and mud doesn't seem to have much effect, but sweat from the body does. Make it very, very slippery, and McGregor there, uncharacteristically, just had the ball taken straight out of his hands. Manly now with 1 minute and 12 seconds to put one on the board and try and snatch a win.
Danny Moore wrapped up on the far side. Lines a dummy half. They look to spin the ball wide. Sidaris promotes the ball. Hopewadi. The cover comes across. He's not a crowd favourite, is Hopewadi.
Did very well to stay in touch there. The Illawarras were starting to tee up on him.
He's put a foot into touch.
He's put a foot into touch, getting up to play the ball.
It's a penalty. Well, the referee has given a penalty for the tacklers going on with the job and actually pulling Hopewadi across. Daniel Gardner able to stand. Always dangerous now. Danny Moore.
25 seconds for the Illawarra supporters to hold on with their team. Manly, the favourites for the tournament.
They're creating some numbers on the right. Now they'll come back.
Probably 1-2 more tackles to go.
The pressure's on.
Lions, cool. Gardner. Now Cliffy. Lions throws the
Great
dummy.
tackle. He's got 2 seconds to get up and play this. They may get one more play.
The siren's gone. He's called time early, I thought.
Well, I think there was a knock-on in the play of the ball. That infringement meant time. He'd have had to put out a scrum. And Illawarra, of course, the first real big shock of the tournament, knocking over the favourites, Manly. And the unpredictability of Sevens football continues.
An excellent victory for Illawarra, 14 points to 10 over one of the favourites, Manly. Paul McGregor shaping for another big season, scoring the try in the second half, proving the difference. We'll be back with more from the Coca-Cola World Sevens in just a moment.
What about the tackle? Unbelievable.
But not the second. NRL Fiji taking the match 22-18.
There's a good ball. That's a beautiful ball there. Navani. Can he get there? Beats the cover. And NRL Fiji, they get out of jail.
An all-Australian clash in Game 2. Defending Sevens champion Newcastle in early trouble and out of luck against Souths.
The chip over the top. Look at the chase off the crossbar. Off the crossbar. Souths.
The Rabbitohs led 12-0 before Andrew Johns arranged a wake-up
They've
call.
got the numbers, Newcastle. They should score and they will score. Robbie O'Davis, the little bit of the goose step.
By half-time, the Knights had levelled, their class overwhelming in the second.
O'Davis will get try number 2.
Though outgunned, there was no doubting South's enthusiasm. The final margin just 2 points. A careless start from Papua New Guinea in its clash against the Aboriginal side.
Play on, says referee Ahmed, and there's a try.
There was plenty of interest in the Sevens debut of teenager Willie Gordon. The man at the centre of a football tug-of-war didn't disappoint.
Here they go, the Aboriginals. Willie Gordon sets sail for the line and he'll score between the posts with a big dive at the end.
The Papuans still found reason to smile, but a third try to Nathan Blacklock and another from Gordon soon soured their mood. The Aboriginal side 26-10 winners. Fans can make their own judgment on North's new look, but when it comes to Sevens football, there's no doubt the Bears are all style.
Back inside.
Last year's finalists always had the better of Sydney City. At one stage, the lead blew out to 16-0.
Out wide. Gutner gets it out wide. And Ben Eichen will go in the corner.
The Roosters hit back late through new recruit Dale Shearer, but it was North's home by 10.
And he'll run around behind the posts and score.
The Italian side is hardly a who's who of rugby league, but that's exactly the game they were playing against Japan.
Robbie Martin for Italy.
Robbie Martin looks a bit like Dave Penner to me. In fact, he just winked at me. I'm sure it's Dave Penner.
The try scorer was indeed David Penner, but really no matter who it was, Japan couldn't stop them. The Italians running in 7 tries in a 38-4 win. Both on and off the field, Lebanon's Sevens debut could only be classed a huge success.
Wonderful support here at the football stadium.
Their thousands of fans were soon rewarded, this the first of 5 tries.
Stepping inside, and he will go in, and Lebanon will score.
Melbourne was hardly a notable scalp, but the manner of the victory suggested Lebanon could be a sevens force. The final score 24-4.
To score in the corner, I think, Becky.
Following the new face of Lebanon, the return of an old favourite. The name Balmain is back, and who else but Tim Brasher was keeping the Tigers in the hunt.
He'll go right through Tim Brasher.
The Crushers and Balmain went try for try in the opening half before Glenn Morrison tore the game wide open.
Go all the way to score. One of the great rookies of 1996. Gets on
Crushers levelled at 16 all, but yet again Brasher steered Balmain safely home.
to Brasher, and Brasher will score. They won't stop him. He'll bring the ball around.
The big news in the game between Tonga and American Samoa was clearly this man, a giant called Suasu.
Leah Suasu, the big man, straight through. Go for the try line, son, you could have made it.
After setting up the first try, he went solo for his team's second, but his efforts weren't enough. Tonga home 16-12. Another one-man show when the Aboriginal side met New Zealand 7.
Here's John Simon. He'll look for support. No, he won't. He won't need it.
Simon finished with 2 tries in his team's 16-14 win. In recent years, Wes Patton has been Balmain's resident 7 specialist. Now he's at the Gold Coast. From the outset, gave Norths the runaround.
But it comes out wide to Wes Patton, and he'll score in the first seconds of the match.
The teams traded tries throughout an entertaining first half. Patton involved again as the Chargers hit the front.
Great pass.
Wonderful play there from Wes Patton.
With the Gold Coast ahead by 4, Patton produced what looked to be a match saver.
Tackle count. Good work, Michael Butner.
Butner into the gap. He's
Great
picked
ankle
up.
tap by Wes Patton.
But North somehow found an escape route, the Bears taking the game 22-20. 2 from 2 for Norths and the same for Italy. In a sometimes fiery match against the United States, the Italians ran in 4 tries in a 22-0 win. The day session concluded with the match that could decide Manly's fate, Illawarra against Wests. Steelers' upset win was quickly forgotten as the Magpies piled on early points.
Stop, drop, and come back, and Pearson is linked up with him again.
The McGuinness brothers and Brandon Pearson had the Steelers on the ropes, the latter bagging 3 tries in an impressive 26-12 win.
And that is a hat-trick for Brandon Pearson.
As always, plenty of fast and furious action here at the World Sevens. We'll take a break now and be back with last year's winners, the Newcastle Knights, up against the St George Dragons. World Sevens, where the Newcastle Knights are looking to put tournament victories back-to-back. Not an easy task. At the half-time break against St George, they trailed 16 points to 10. Your commentators, Terry Kennedy and Brian Smith.
16 points to 10. St George, the half-time leaders. Another frantic 7 minutes coming up. And Brunker trying to force him over, does so. Adrian Brunker, great tackle to start the half.
Well, Saints get a chance now. If they play a great set of 6 here, and if they manage to make it into a 6-pointer instead of a 4, they get a great chance to win this game.
Strong defence by Brunker. Brogan being forced over. Gusto. There's Brunker again trying to get involved and get around his man in Brogan. And he also gets around Craigie. Brunker got around 2 and got to within 7 metres of the line. St George trying to work it back. Wagon desperately close to going and scoring, but St George score through Hardy. It's the haircut.
Well,
20 points to 10 now.
That set obviously started off a bad error by Brett Grogan. He took the odds to taking Brunker on, and you see how it finishes off with Jeff Hardy starting. Saints started the set well in the Newcastle half. They have converted it. That's a big play now. Grogan into touch by Brunker, and they're ahead by 12.
Brad Fittler, we saw Newcastle trail by 12 points to 0 in their early game and come back and win. What's your prediction now?
Yeah, I think you'll just find Newcastle, they're very patient, and that's why they're so good at the 7s. They've just milked the penalty there, so I'm sure they're going to score a try here, I'd say, and make it a tight game. This is about the best game I've seen today, I think.
It's been a game. Grogan, loose ball. Albert's wrestled to the ground by his former teammate in Tracy. Big long pass by Andrew Johns to his brother Matthew. Matthew, the cut-out pass now. Richards. And Richards great up 5 metres
tackle,
out.
Cover tackle by Damien Smith.
Nowhere to go. Gidley. Get the ball away. Johns. 20-metre pass. Grogan tries to stand his man up. Does so. Goes back on the inside. And Nathan Brown can't stop him. It's 22 points to 14 now. Grogan goes across.
Great handling again. The Johns brothers in control the whole way through that. Just looking for a blow there, Brett Grogan, after that energy sapper. There's only 2 paces in this game. It's flat out and stopped. And he's really done it tough even after that short run. That's an important conversion they've come up with there. Andrew Johns, and he's having a spell as well. Big set coming up for the Dragons. They just need 4 to win the game.
Won't be too off the field for too long, you wouldn't think.
They'll bring him back as soon as they get the ball.
Andrew and Matthew both off at the moment for Newcastle. St George in possession. Hardy. Brown trying to make something happen with Hardy. Hardy goes himself. Finds Custo. He scored the first try. He's showing good hands. He's showing a good bend. If he hung on to it, he would have scored. Now this could be curtains for the Dragons.
He's quick, Darren Albert.
Albert, they won't catch him. Brown's going to try and force him wide. He's given up. Albert over under the post. And happy about it. 22 points to 20. Here come the Knights.
Well, what a difference one pass made there. Ben Custo threw the one that wasn't needed. Jeffro Hardy with the shaven head. Great catch by Benny Custo off the inside ball. But then all he had to do was put the hammer down. Look where his body finished. Way into the in goal. Way into the in goal.
Conversion ties it up.
He's got some pace, Darren Albert, all the way. Saints still get another chance. 2:38. The Knights will get another one after that, though.
Really, this set of 6 is a must score for St George. They went within a fraction of an inch of tying the ball game up. Lenihan. Now Brown. Can't get the ball away, had no support. Tracy will go into dummy half. Hardy. Back on the inside. Tracy again. Nowhere to go. Johns comes at him. He beat Andrew, he can't beat Matthew, and now Andrew comes back. Inside the final 2 minutes. On the inside, Lenihan goes over. And St George back in front. 26-22. What a great game.
Might have scored too soon. Take them when they come, I suppose, but Saints really chewed quite a bit out of that clock, but still scored on the 4th play, I think, there. This is a great ball in the end, and Lenihan hits the hole nicely.
Brian, it might work for him, where if Newcastle score a try, then Saints might get another set out of him.
They still might get one, yeah, Freddie. Well, Newcastle don't want
a bit of time.
They don't want to score too soon. Oh, he did hit the hole nicely, Lenihan, and went all the way. He was going to make sure it was under the post. Oh, Brownie's going to blow the ball up. He's going to take that much time. Oh,
he's missed it.
Too much.
Well, how crucial will that be? 26-22. He goes off the field, Nathan Brown, the skipper.
This is the biggest set of the game now.
The Knights, they're on the rampage at the moment. Peden loses it. And with that could be the ball game.
Oh, they need to chew the clock out here, nice and steady, Saints.
40 seconds left. Brunker with the ball.
Slow play the balls. Everything the opposite of the 13-a-side game.
Don't see too much fancy rugby league being played. A game of seesawing fortunes. Hardy realises the dilemma. He'll just take the tackle. There's a couple left for St George. Through the hands of Custer. He's been a little bit of a hero and a villain. And the Dragons not content to lie down. Damien Smith dragged down. 40 metres out.
That's the time. That's the time.
Brunker. They still might score. Hardy on the burst. Takes the tackle on the 20-metre line. And St George have caused an upset here. The Dragons, they down the Knights by 26 points to 22. An entertaining game of sevens.
St George maintaining that 6-point advantage they held at half-time to take out the match against the Knights, 22 points to 16. We'll take a break now and be back with Balmain up against Parramatta. They may be neighbours, but plenty of rivalry between Balmain and Parramatta, and that continues in our next game. We now bring you the second half of that Group A clash with Eric Young and former Tiger legend himself, Steve Roach, in commentary.
It's up to the likes of Hudson Smith and Shane Walker, the big number 10, to take the Tigers forward. If you listen to the half-time speech by the Balmain trainers and so forth, they said that they need the first 2 rucks to go forward, and then let's go 2 passes off the ruck. Let's see if they stick to it.
This game, of course, is Brian Smith's reintroduction to Australian Rugby League, coach of the Parramatta Eels. They're doing all right so far. They lead by 6 points to 0, which is the lowest scoring game at half-time that we've had today in the 1997 World Sevens. It'll be Tim Brasher with the restart.
I think Parramatta have got a bit of a plus in that area blocker because they've got the likes of Dimmick and Smith, who, although they're good with the ball in their hands, they also go forward when they've got it in their hands.
Yeah, that's a big point too, isn't it? I mean, you're always in 2 minds when you're defending against players of that calibre.
The kick goes long from Tim Brasher. 6 points to 0, Parramatta leading Balmain. And already Jason Bell taken in a strong, as always, tackle from Tim Brasher. Dimmick.
Jason Bell gone back to his home club. He was a Parramatta junior and played there early in his career, and now he's gone back to Parramatta.
Bringing the man inside. Is King.
It really needs one of the Tigers to stamp their authority on this game with a big crunching tackle to try and loosen the ball from Parramatta. They seem to go along at will. Dimmick running from dummy half. That's his second touch in this set of 6. There's the mistake they were looking for.
So all of a sudden the Tigers will have an opportunity just inside the Parramatta half.
Just have a look at a couple of there. Jason, I mentioned at half-time they were coming off with their hands on their hips. I was just having a look when they lost the football there, Parramatta. A lot of the Balmain players down on their haunches.
They should use their change a little better. As the ball was turned over there, they should have brought 3 fresh players onto the field to attack the tiring Parramatta players.
This is Brasher. Looks for the gap. It wasn't there.
In 7-a-side football, you've only got to be out there for 1 set of 6 and you're pretty well gone.
Especially if the set of 6 lasts 90 metres. We've seen that more than once today. Gillette brings the man inside. That's Hudson Smith.
And that's working off the ball, isn't it, Jason, when you have to make tackles on the inside. 3 Parramatta players there. Here's Nabel.
Well, he looked for support, but it was intercepted in the end by Chris King.
Certainly made up for the mistake. It was he who dropped the ball up here earlier in the Parramatta set when they had the ball, and he's cleaned it up there. His teammates will be thanking him for that one.
Balmain got 1 player down. Morrison about to come onto the field. There's Dimmick.
Gets the ball away. Dimmick inside to Stuart Kelly. He's a speedster. He'll run away. And that takes Parramatta out to a 10-point lead with the kick to come.
Yeah, well, as Jason was mentioning a little bit earlier, you only have to need 1 player down on the ground. One of the Tigers was down on the ground. They didn't replace him quick enough. Dimmick allowed 1-on-1. He's always going to beat you. Stand in the tackle. Offload on the inside. This kid is a good player too, Stuart Kelly. Too much speed. Have a look at Dimmick. Look at the strength. The fend off centre. 1-hand pass in the inside. And it's shut the gate.
When we talked about the opportunity Balmain had to make a couple of changes there, and they didn't use it, then they found that they played a couple of more tackles with those same players, and then when dropping the ball, they were tied again for the next set of 6 in defence. So it's a catch-22 situation.
12 points to 0 now Parramatta over the Tigers. Jason Taylor again, making a very good point about the conservation of energy in this abbreviated form of the game. It's an important part of the game, knowing when to bring players in on the interchange. North Sydney have certainly done it very well so far. Here come the Balmain Tigers, back on attack, but again they've turned over possession.
Well, it just looks like to me that they're all trying to be ball players. As Jason said, they need a couple of blokes to go forward. They're all trying to muck around with the football before the line rather than trying to make some inroads.
Lower Milford takes a breather on the sideline. He was the one who left the field injured a little earlier on in this match.
Well, it's easy to think that you need to play catch-up football because there's not much time on the clock. You start to want to throw it around too much when you're 12 points behind, then you turn it over and you get further behind.
And as we all know, 3 minutes in this game, Jason, is a very long time.
Well, you know, we finished our game against the Gold Coast scoring and trying kicking the last goal with 20 seconds to go.
Dimmock again, strong up the middle, looks inside, turns the possession over. Comes up with Shane Walker.
That's one of the problems I thought the Parramatta had last season in the big games, is that they overread blokes like Dimmock and Smith. You've got to be up there inside their pocket all the time, trying to run off, because they have the ability to offload that football.
Oh, and if you wanted to do that all day, what a dream run that would be. Running off Jim Dimmock.
Well, you wouldn't get too many bruises, I can tell you.
Balmain, they trail by 12. Time running out, less than 2.5 minutes to go in the match. Again, Hudson Smith, prominent, out wide.
Well, Parramatta's
to play the ball, James Langaloa inside, and they'll score through Hudson Smith. The follow-up, and that is precisely what the Tigers needed.
I was just about to say that the Parramatta defence has been unbelievable. It's taken them ages to score a try, the Balmain Tigers, not through the want of trying, but they're scrambling the fence, and the work that they do off the ball, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, they do it so well.
Oh, and the conversion's a shocker.
That goal kick was very important, I think. If you had been able to put that over and they could have held Parramatta for a set of 6, there a chance of levelling the game, but I think it's pretty much gone for them now.
I think the problem there with Michael Gillette is that he was so keen to again have another shot at possession that he forgot that by missing the kick, it meant that Balmain has to score twice.
Exactly.
It's another area where the fatigue comes into it. You also forget that he's been running around out there, and then all of a sudden he's got to control himself and kick a field goal.
I imagine too the head drops too when you know that you are a chance to get back into the game and the conversion is missed, Jason. But a lot of the teammates' heads have dropped.
For sure, they would have looked at the clock and known that kick was very important.
Comes out now along the Parramatta line. They lead by 12 points to 4. Dimmock. Dimmock. He'll go right through. Say goodbye to Jim Dimmock. Over between the posts with the celebratory roll.
It's not fair. He just hasn't got enough talent, has he? Jimmy Dimmock. He is an outstanding footballer. He's got everything. Skill, strength, speed, as we saw there. Unbelievable player.
Had a fair handball at the end as well. He could have played for the Swans. As we take a look, the inside ball to Dimmock.
And he is in the lead with the degree of difficulty. I'll give this one a 7.6. The somersault after the try is scored. But look at this. Over you go, son. How do you rate him, Jace?
Yeah, great player. Played a little bit with him at West when he was a bit younger, and he's certainly... What you were talking about before, I think, is important with the Parramatta players. Because of the fact that Smith and Dimmock were so new to the club last year, it would have been hard for them to get used to their play, but having had a season in the side now, I think the players that you're talking about backing them up will start to know their play a little bit more.
The clock is counting down. The siren has just sounded. Parramatta will go to ground and they will win their first game in the 1997 Coca-Cola Sevens. 18 points to 4, the final margin over Balmain.
No problems for the Eels there, a 14-point victory over Balmain. And coming up next, two arch rivals against each other, Manly, Western Suburbs. That's the other side of this break. Commentary, Terry Kennedy and Steve Roach.
The kick-off, we're underway. Should be a great second half. McGuinness wrestled to the ground. This time by Sidaris. Willis, who's coming to the side with Cherry Mesher, a late withdrawal. And Willis forms a sensational partnership with Brendan Pearson. Damien Kennedy, the try scorer just before the half-time break. Desi Hasler, the former Sea Eagle, now looking to bury them in the Cup playoff. And a loose ball.
Well, we've seen a number of times his hands in the tackle. It's a Manly feed here. The new look Cliffy Lyons, short crop of hair there. Clifford.
I bet Cliffy Lyons would be wishing Desi Hasler was next to him in a Manly jersey at the moment, looking at the scoreboard and knowing what's got to be done.
And they formed a match-winning combination over many a long year, Hasler and Lyons. And now Manly must do it without Des. Field. That pass was a tough one back on the inside. It was hard.
Well, it's just a comedy of errors so far for Manly. Craig Field not happy with himself.
And it's going to take Craig Field quite some time to fit into Manly's pattern of play. They're three-time champions at the sevens, Manly.
Very hard to fit in with the number 7 jumper too, I could imagine. I mean, Jeff Tuvey, one of the greats of our game.
Won't give it up easy. Here goes Hasler. Steps and
Pass it to a Manly player.
He's called for that, Hancock. Desi, I'm off you.
bit of a brain fade by Desi. Innes. Hopewadi. Can he get on the outside of McGuinness? He can't.
That's good defence there from McGuinness, Jason. A lot of people have been saying over the last few years McGuinness's defence isn't that good. Today, he stopped many a raid from Manly.
John Hopewadi trying to go around the outside is so hard to stop.
Gardner. Now Lyons looking to drive Manly towards the try line. There's a gap back on the inside, and that's exactly where Menzies came. Hopewadi. McGuinness. Can McGuinness stop him? Hopewadi. Too strong. Too much speed on the outside, and simply too good in the end.
Yeah, well, a few odds there. He's tried it on a couple of occasions. McGuinness has come up trumps there, but this time, Hopewadi. Too strong. Steve Menzies involved in the play in the middle of the ruck. The long ball out. And Hopewadi too strong. There's that long spiral pass. Here's the outside. Tries to beat him. McGuinness matches it with him for speed. He bumps away from him once. McGuinness comes again. But can't stop the try being scored.
A sign of a good player, Jason, that Hopewadi continued to back himself on a number of occasions against McGuinness, and he eventually got the money.
He's such a strong player. McGuinness has got him a couple of times when he's tried to go around him, but when he gets that close to the line, you've really got to be right on top of him if you're going to stop him.
Manly and the Magpies. 12 points to 8. The Magpies in front.
Just a strong run there from McGuinness. Good 15-metre gain. Siri Lang now.
Willis a dummy half. Through the hands. Georgialis, the little kick. The chase is great by McGuinness.
Try.
No try. Manly got there first and forced the ball.
It's a line drop out. This is another opportunity for the Magpies. Let's see what they can do.
Short kick off. It goes the 10. I thought Hancock got his hand on the ball too quickly inside the 10. And now the Magpies back on the attack. Pearson.
Unstoppable.
Pearson backs himself, and why not?
Jason Taylor, how good is this bloke from 10 metres out? I've seen him do it in the 13-a-side game. No problem, backs himself from dummy half there. Power to burn.
He's very strong on the legs. He's very good at hitting a gap at any time. He runs off Paul Langmack a lot in the 13-a-side game, and he's very hard to stop. If it's one-on-one or even two-on-one at times, he busts through the tackle.
Brendan Pearson has been in great form so far in the sevens, picking up 3 tries in the earlier game.
Well, I think he's destined for bigger things in our game. I think he's got representative player written all over him. I know he played for country last year, but I think he can go higher than that.
Damien Kennedy with the drop conversion is successful. And the mighty Magpies, they stretch that advantage now. And Manly very quick to counter-attack. Great work. Sodaris trying to get the ball back to that try-scoring machine in Menzies. but it was to no avail. And they withstand another raid to the Magpies.
I didn't get to see much of Manly's earlier game, but it seems to me that Steve Menzies is quite content just to catch and pass the ball. We know how good he is getting it under his arm and taking them on. I'd like to see him do it a bit more.
18 points to 8. The Magpies in control of this contest. Inside the final 90 seconds. Kennedy back for Pearson. Always a willing worker. McGuinness, a great pass off the deck. Razzle-dazzle stuff by the Magpies. McGuinness again. Lomomenko pulls up, goes back. And he's flung to the ground by Denny Moore.
These have been impressive too, the Magpies in their both games.
Hazard keeps the ball alive. And Kennedy so close to getting through that gap. Last tackle for the Magpies. What are their options? They go to the veteran in Hazard. Decoy runner on the inside. Chip ahead. Menzies was well positioned.
He read it beautifully, didn't he, Stephen Menzies? Here's Manly on the counter-attack.
There's numbers out here for the Magpies. Hopewadi gets around his man. Lang trying to cut him down again. The ankle tap is a beauty. It is a try though. Terry Hill meandered across the final 20 metres to touchdown, but it was all over. Too little, too late, simply not enough. Manly go down by 18 points to 12.
Plenty of satisfaction there for ex-Manly player Des Hasler. A first-up victory over his old teammates, and Western Suburbs definite Cup quarter-finalists tomorrow. Still plenty to come here from the World Sevens. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment.
Strolls across.
Desperate defence from the Friendly Isles, and they made it 12-0 a short time later.
Now Tonga away. They're looking for try number 2, and they should get it. Vizila will go over.
He nearly lost his pants, Vizila.
He got him back on.
A Tongan error early in the second 7 minutes, and their opposition capitalised.
Fiji on the attack.
Oh,
Karoi was involved. Karoi heads for the corner. Back on the inside. They're over.
The big men got straight back on the charge. Then a late 4-pointer to the Fijians.
Kanavara unloads. That's a superb try by Fiji.
NRL Fiji needed this kick to tie things up, but it wasn't to be. Tonga winning the match 16-14. A preview to the Charity Shield, and it was St George who got first points against the Rabbits.
Hardy's into the gap. Hardy's through the gap. Hardy's over.
South Steelers recruit led the fight back.
Craig Simon plays it quickly. The quick play, the ball did it.
Then another to the Rabbits.
Hands looking for a
great
gap.
pass.
And there he goes, Dom McLeod.
Ahead at half-time, it was South Sydney scoring first in the second stanza.
They got
They
a score.
3-on-1, surely. They've bombed it. Darren Burns breaks one tackle. They might score yet, the Reds. They will score, in fact.
A real dogfight in the second half with the sides going toe-to-toe, but a late one sealed it for the Rabbitohs.
The Rabbits, they're on a rampage here. They're celebrating.
New Zealand were expected to do a job on PNG, and that's the way it started.
Down wide though to the New Zealanders. There's a run around, and there'll be a try in the corner there to Francis Cullimore.
Minutes later, another Kiwi 4-pointer.
Johnson's got the pace. He'll run around, and the New Zealanders skip away now to an 8-0 lead.
PNG were on the board a short time later, but it was the Kiwis over again just before the break.
Comes wide now to Andrew Tangata-Toa. Tangata-Toa still going. He gets there. That's a strong try.
The Papuan showed some acrobatics in the second half.
And they step through a couple of steps, and that's all it takes. Gary Maria, he's the star of this PNG team. Onto his back.
And they stayed in it for most of the match, but New Zealand was just a little too strong in the end, winning 32-18. Sydney City head-to-head with the Gold Coast, and a great start for the Chargers, showing off a new recruit.
Always something happening when Wes Patton's got the ball. He's taken high, he'll still score.
It was a new staffer at Bondi Junction who notched up their first four-pointer.
You mentioned that some of the young players are showing their wares, even a couple of the older heads.
Former international Graham Mackay.
This time Mackay will go in.
He's come inside again.
He didn't really need to come in. He did. He took the risk.
A current Kangaroo striking back for the Roosters.
Matt Singh, the inside ball. The wonderful reverse.
2 tries each in the second half, but it was the kicking game that was the difference. The Roosters running out winners 22 points to 18. Next up, it was the battle of the Rugby League minnows, and it was the USA scoring first against Japan.
They can scoot the USA, and so can Greg Smith. Smith shows his pace and a little bit of class.
The US over again.
Defence has been quite good so far by Japan. Phillips now into a bit of space, gets it across. Try time for the USA.
The Japanese weren't going down without a fight, and weren't they happy when they crossed just before half-time?
Here we go. I hope we see the aeroplane because didn't I like that one?
Early in the second half, it was the Stars and Stripes back on the sprint.
Maurice Hampton stood, got the ball away. Great play, the USA.
A lot smaller, but the Japanese showed plenty of heart.
Oh, he's gone back. He's gone back into traffic, but he's got a great sidestep.
The USA leading by 6 at full time, a voluntary tackle, and the Japanese take it to extra time.
Play on. Japan are going to go across. He's got to go over under the post. He improves the position.
The USA, the first to score in extra time, just a little too strong for the Japanese, winning the match 18-14.
And the USA will claim victory here.
It was a tight one between Melbourne and New South Wales country. The countryside the first to score.
New South Wales country with space and opportunity early in this match, and they'll go across David Smith.
And through Shane Naylor, Melbourne showed how valuable it is to have an Olympian in your side.
Around the outside and away he goes.
But the boys from the bush out-muscled them in the end, 16 points to 12. And in the final match of the night, Parramatta outran the South Queensland Crushers, scoring 4 tries to 2 to take the match 16-10.
Has he scored? Yes, he has.
So a great way for the ARL to kick off this year's Rugby League season. 24 teams in action here at the Sydney Football Stadium today. That takes us away from league headquarters. But don't forget, tomorrow from 6:30 p.m, we'll be bringing you the highlights of the Cup semi-finals and the Cup final live. But for now, on behalf of the Channel 9 crew from the Sydney Football Stadium, it's bye for now. 24 teams have been whittled down to 4 in this year's Coca-Cola World Rugby League Sevens as we welcome you to the Sydney Football Stadium for the second day of the opening weekend of the ARL Rugby League season. Yesterday was a day of upsets, with the likes of Manly, Sydney City and Newcastle failing to move through to the main Cup competition, but the 4 teams that have and comprise our semi-finals read this way. South Sydney will take on North Sydney, while Western Suburbs are up against Parramatta. And Paul Vorton, the season has come around very quickly. You've obviously done plenty of work in the off-season. Tough conditions with the heat over the weekend, and a lot of the less fancied sides have proven successful, most notably the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, good to see you again too, Pete, after a long absence. But, South have played very well. Probably surprised they got through. They were in a very hard group, which included Newcastle and St George. They've done it playing some very enterprising football, though. A bunch of no-names, really, as we look at their team, or should I say new names to this ARL competition. Paul Sutton, Phil Howlett, Shane Wilson, he's an experienced person. Matt Manning, Aaron Grant, Craig Simon, also a ton of experience, formerly with Illawarra. Dean Amos, Denny O'Keefe, Don McLeod and Darren Burns, coached by Ken Shine. They're up against a very good North Sydney outfit. Almost, I reckon, Pete, the perfect Sevens outfit. Plenty of speed out wide with Sears and Dallas, Butner, the general in the middle in Jason Taylor, and some tough forwards up front with Fairley, Foramo and Larson.
Yes, the Bears go into this semi-final hot favourites. Let's go to the highlights of our first semi-final. Leslie Tapsell reports our pictures courtesy of Sports Australia.
When Norths and Souths met in League's Polar War, the Bears were immediately on thin ice.
Held up by the Bears.
In Sevens, one missed tackle is like walking through an open door. Michael Butner's speed ensured it didn't shut.
Straight over the top of Howlett, puts on the speed and away he goes. Michael Butner scores for the Bears.
But Souths hit back immediately thanks to the long arms of Don McLeod.
On for McLeod, and he gets a flick pass out for Grant, and Grant is there to put it over this time. Well, that's good work.
The Rabbitohs continued to pressure the Bears, a new recruit already proving a valuable buy.
Lefty worked on the right, and now it's Manning getting the pass down for Craig Simon. He's in.
Souths 12-6, but on the stroke of half-time, Norths tied up.
That Souths really gave away a six-pointer. Taylor did well, got his arms free. Dallas gets his 5th try of the tournament.
And some beautiful work there from Jason Taylor. He drew 2 of the South defenders. And Brett Dallas just hung back waiting for the opportunity. When it came, he made sure of it.
A mistake from the restart gave Souths a flyer in the second.
Dallas has gone up for it.
Dean Amos making the Bears pay.
And now Wilson trying to get them free. He gets them free, and now it's Amos. Gets away from one, gets away from another, and gets it over the line. Well, he defied the North Sydney defences.
But Dallas made up for his error, this and the subsequent conversion, bringing it back to 18 all.
Dallas is with it. He tries to run around them, and he does. Blistering speed by Brett Dallas.
We pick up the semi-final action with the score still 18 apiece and just over 3 minutes left on the clock.
About 27 metres out from the South Sydney line. Keep in mind that Souths, without that mistake, would be on the attack now on the opposite end of the park. So let's see what fate does to them. Florimo is 7 or 8 metres away from the South Sydney line. Now, Fred, it's Nigel Roy, big and strong, and held up. Oh, that's a great effort by the Rabbits.
Maybe a match-winning effort there. Nigel Roy scooting out of dummy half. It was slow work from the marker. Didn't get into position. Nigel Roy realised he could get to the line. Unfortunately, was not able to ground the ball. Jason Taylor, a midfield scrum, should still score in this set of 6.
Taylor there. Short ball for Butner. Eichen was running the decoy. Eichen is now there a dummy half. And then into the chest of Gary Larson. Larson taking 2 defenders with him. That in itself will provide a little gap somewhere if they don't get in the line quickly. Butner takes up another tackle. Gary Larson fires it away. And then from Eichen, through from Florimo to Taylor. Taylor on then for Roy. Straight along the back line, and Sears is out there on the left wing. They stretch them back now. Little fumble by Matt Sears. Taylor, taken by McLeod. Out the back, scooped up by Matt Sears. And he's grasped and will be made to play the ball. This is the last. And a penalty goes to South. Penalised Matt Sears. Basically saying to him, get up and play the ball immediately.
Well, great defence is what wins Sevens tournaments, and we've just seen that exhibited by South Sydney. They got through to the last tackle, they've earned a penalty. Now with 1 minute and 30 left on the clock, they are in the box seat.
So in the event of a draw, they turn around and restart with a scrum. The last team in possession has the feed. The other side has the loose head. And the first point scorer takes out the semi-final. This is Shane Wilson now. With South Sydney given an opportunity. McLeod burrowing his way around there looking for some opening, and he gets it back for Howlett. Howlett plays it back for McLeod. It was a good play of the ball. A couple of the North Sydney players still trying to get back in the line. Now they make a mistake, and a race for the ball sees Amos come up with it. He loses it. Picked up by Wilson. Referee said play on. Wilson pulled down in a desperate tackle. Now it's come away on the left from Sutton off the right boot of McLeod. Rather early in the tackle count. The big men fly for it. It's gone to ground, and it's still with South. Knocked on, though, the referee said. He's called it up.
Well, they had the chance there, South Sydney, and one thing you don't really do that often in Sevens football is kick. I know they had some men out there. If they had a pass, they had an overlap, they score and win the game. Now Norths have got a few seconds left and they can score a try.
from anywhere.
And if they were going to kick ball, it had to be in the in-goal area so that they had possession at the end of the game.
Newton's got some space on the left of the ground. He's away from Sutton. There's one coming after him. It's Craig Simon. Infield pass. Florimo high steps away, and he scored a 100-metre try. Miraculous finish. The coach is happy. Flojo scores the try, and the Bears go to the big grand final.
Oh, so close for North Sydney Souths. Very gallant in defeat, but the Bears move through to their second consecutive Sevens decider. To see who they'll play, we'll take a break and be back with our second semi-final, the Eels up against the Magpies. Either Parramatta or Western Suburbs will play North Sydney in this year's Cup final. And Paul, both teams coming in very confident form. They've looked very good over these 2 days, especially defensively.
Yeah, Pete, both teams undefeated as a matter of fact, and both with plenty of speed to burn. As we look at the west side now, Brandon Pearson for them has been in great form the last couple of days, and plenty of speed there with the McGuinness boys. And the Parramatta team, well, they've also got a lot of skill with Jim Dimmick, Jason Smith, and the fastest man in rugby league apparently in Shane Werrett. So it should be a cracker. If Parramatta are to prevail, I guess we're looking at the likes of Dimmick and Jason Smith to lead the way. Well, they'll get them going up the middle, and with the pace of Werrett and McCracken out wide, then you'd think they could win, but it'll be a good game. Yeah, plenty of rivalry between these two clubs. In fact, it's almost a local derby. So with the highlights of our second semi-final, here is Tim Gilbert.
The Battle of the West with the Magpies up against the Eels, and after a quiet first few minutes, it was Western Suburbs who struck first blood.
This is Pearson now, putting on the accelerator. He's down the sideline. The heads are going up in the air. They're pulling up. They can't catch him. And Pearson gets in to score for Western Suburbs.
A real struggle for both sides in the late afternoon heat. Then one of the quickest men in the game was on the charge for Para to strike back.
Lawler is out there. He's the only one of the Parramatta team out there on the left. They come back to the right. Bell using Smith and the kick. Werrett is after it. Oh, Werrett will get there first by a mile. Puts his weight on the ball, and that is a try. Beautifully manufactured.
Seconds before the break, there was nothing in it. Then the Parramatta side lifted a cog to give themselves a little breathing space.
Bell is the supporter. He's with it now. Then McCracken. Barnes at double half. He pushes Campbell into that position. Bell turns it in. Werrett is with it. The siren's in the background. Is there a try on? Campbell gallops towards the line and gets it over. Troy Campbell. It doesn't happen often, but he's in for a try right on half-time.
Vital for Tommy's side to score early in the second half, and they went so close.
They're making that mistake just in front of half-time. They've given themselves a bit of a handicap. Kevin McGuinness is away. They're in pursuit. Lawler can't get to him. Barnes has a dive. Jason Smith likewise. Kevin McGuinness. Then he loses the ball.
And it wasn't long before Parramatta stretched the lead to 14-6.
Parramatta start to threaten now. As Bell probes. Not held. Got it away and supported by Campbell. Just inside the 20-metre line. And a penalty goes to Parramatta. It's against the marker, interfering with the tackle player, Campbell and Bell. Bell in the centre of the ruck all the time. 11 metres out. McCracken comes in there. Off to the right. Oh, he's going for the corner. Well, they had all their team on the left. McCracken snuck away from dummy half and picks up the easiest of tries.
Not proving the best of games for the McGuinness brothers.
Is Willis, the schemer. And now Ken McGuinness, infield pass for Pearson. Bell did well to jolt the attack. And then Ken McGuinness looks for the angle. Oh, beautiful evasion. He beat them with his hips. And he's failed to ground the ball. Campbell has deflected the ball.
And it's a video replay.
Video replay called for. No doubts, though, Campbell has dislodged the ball from Ken McGuinness's grasp.
McGuinness there just trying too much to get around under the post to make the conversion attempt easier. And we don't even need the replay because Troy Campbell has come up with a great play.
A tough assignment from here, but the Magpies still in there. We pick up play with 3 minutes left on the clock.
Quick play the ball, sees Jason Smith down the sideline. Barnes is there to support. Nathan will score. And while Western Suburbs were putting on the muscle, Parramatta played the football.
How different could this game have been if McGuinness had have scored? 60 seconds later, it's Parramatta scoring the try. Chris Lawler shaving the upright. A 12-point lead with 2 minutes to go should be able to lead.
Western Suburbs with one of their final opportunities to put some respectability back on the scoreboard. A forlorn hope at 18-6 down with 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Kennedy, Kennedy has gone straight over the top of Kelly. Campbell tries the same trick again, but Kennedy is able to put it down. So the Magpies score. It's 18 points to 10, and the conversion is successful. So it's 18 points to 12, and a converted try separates Western Suburbs from Parramatta with 1.25 to go.
He's got a lovely sidestep, Damien Kennedy, for a big man. Bamboozled Stuart Kelly. Conversion attempt only scraped over. Western Suburbs realising the urgency of the situation. Nothing silly here from Parramatta with a minute to go. They've just got to maintain possession and, if needed, get a long kick in at the end.
You see the tactics from Parramatta already. They're quite happy to wait for Western Suburbs to come to them. Prepared to use some plays that are soaking up time. Jason Bell, and then from Lawler, it's across to Shane Werrett, who will go down the right flank. Desi Hasler can't match it with him. Nobody can, so don't worry about it too much, Des. Werrett goes in to score. That has really sealed this match now, with only a matter of seconds remaining. 22-12.
He's a very good player, Chris Lawler. Very underrated. Played wing for Parramatta last year, normally a halfback. And the cut-out pass there was the perfect one. Shane Werrett up against Des Hasler. Maybe a few years ago, Desi would have made a race of it. Not today. Clock winds down. Shane Werrett will have the final say in this match.
His kick is not that bad. In fact, the flag goes up. So the final score is 24-12. And Parramatta goes through to the final of the tournament for the Coca-Cola World Sevens. They will play North Sydney.
The influence of new coach Brian Smith already evident in the Parramatta performance. In the end, a fairly comfortable victory for them, which, Paul, sets up a final against North Sydney. Who are you tipping and why?
You'd love to tip the Eels, wouldn't you?
No, in fact, I'd rather you went the other way.
Look, I think Parramatta are a great sevens team, as I mentioned, with the skill of Dimmick and Smith, but I think that'll be neutralised by Larson and Fairley up the middle of the north side, and Brett Dallas for mine will be the match winner. He's already scored 6 tries in this competition. I think he'll probably make it 7, 8 or possibly even 9.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that Parramatta can start the season the right way. I think the defence of North Sydney is the key to this cup final. Other important results today, of course, the plate final was taken out by St George, 18 points to 8 over the South Queensland Crushers, while the trophy final went to Balmain, 22 points to 16 against Newcastle. But the big money is in the cup final. $65,000 going to the winner. That will either be Parramatta or North. We'll take a break now and be back with the cup final live from league headquarters.
Stadium live for the 10th playing of the World Sevens, sponsored now by Coca-Cola. And the crowd just waiting for the arrival of the two sides that have made the final, Parramatta and North Sydney. Sydney didn't have any luck in this situation last year. And in fact, it's been a long time since the Bears have actually done the lap of honour in any first grade tournament. In fact, you've got to go back, I think, to the 1920s. As David Fairley takes them down the tunnel. And the Bears, as you would have seen in the semi-final, sporting that new look rugby league apparel. There's their team. Sears, Dallas, Butner, Eikenroy, Reba, Taylor. He is the captain. Fairley, Florimo, Larson, and coached by Peter Louis. They put South Sydney away in the semi-finals. There's Brett Dallas. He has scored 6 tries in the tournament. Michael Butner also has had a very good series. Parramatta comes out behind Jared McCracken. And their team, Nathan Barnes, and then Shane Werrett, Stuart Kelly, Jared McCracken, Jim Dimmick, Chris Lawler, Jason Bell, Chris King, Troy Campbell, Jason Smith, and Brian Smith is the new coach in town. Well, second time around, I should say. Jim Dimmick laying the foundation very much for Parramatta. They defeated Western Suburbs. David Manson making his way to the centre. The sun not a problem now at this time of the evening. 10 minutes each way for the final. And it's North Sydney from right to left. They start. Parramatta with first use of the football. And that is young Lawler who brings it back to the 20-metre line for Campbell, a dummy half, to unload down a wide blind side for Smith to turn it back inside for Lawler up the centre, and he's wrapped up there by Gary Larson.
And with North Sydney doing the defence to start this game off, Peter Louis has opted to keep his playmaker Jason Taylor on the bench. Jim Dimmick struggles to get to the halfway line. I bet you like that as soon as North Sydney get the ball, Taylor will be back out there directing things.
Talking of playmakers, here's Jason Smith throwing the dummy and then running around behind Jason Bell before trying to get away from Michael Butner, then unloading to the support of McCracken. They're 10 metres out from the line, the Eels, and they've got a very good chance. Jason Bell probes, runs to the line. Good tackle. It was required from Ben Aiken. He was equal to the task. Dimmick goes for it, slams it down. First try. Parramatta. Jim Dimmick.
Yeah, that was a great tackle from Ben Aiken. Then he went to sleep, though, and when he was marking up, he was concerned with something else rather than trying to... he went the wrong way. Jason Bell, they grabbed each other, and Dimmick ploughed through.
Very tough to defend against, so close to the line. You try and jam your markers in around that area, but of course that leaves you vulnerable out wide. But between the Devil and Deep Blue Sea is Chris Lawler. Fairly comfortable conversion attempt early in this game to extend the lead by 2, and he's done so.
6-0 then. Parramatta with high hopes for the new year of rugby league.
I thought that might have been the big difference between these two sides in the cup final, the goal kicking of Jason Taylor. With plenty of responsibility on Chris Lawler as Brett Dallas gets caught by the jersey.
Desperate stuff from Jason Bell to the blind side. Michael Butner herded back fairly on for Taylor. Florimo's with him. Florimo's got Aiken outside him. He doesn't need him. And he takes Nathan Barnes over to score the equalising try, but the conversion attempt is from a wide angle.
Yeah, strong stuff there from Greg Florimo. He's turned into one of North's best ever players. He saw the gap. This is the early movement. Brett Dallas, unlucky not to score, brought down beautiful tackle there from Jason Bell. When Florimo sees the try line, nothing will stop him. They had the overlap, but he knew he could get there. And just watch the strength of the men. Good ball from Taylor, a big fend, and carries over Barnes.
In the interim, Jason Taylor failing with the conversion, so Parramatta keep their nose in front. 6-4. And 7 minutes of the first half remaining as Dimmick offloads for McCracken to use Bell, who goes to the 40-metre line and beyond. And there he's pulled down by Reba and Taylor. Now it's with Campbell. Dimmick, 30-metre line, running across it, or along it I should say, before promoting Nathan Barnes. From the 20-metre line they go further. Bell ran out of a support on his outside. He looks for the corner. Came away from the touchline. And then away from Werrett. And Campbell stretches out. Manson awards another try. Parramatta's second.
We saw over 50 points scored in last year's final and plenty of points being scored in the opening minutes of this one. Both teams giving the ball plenty of air. Troy Campbell, a good fend, similar to the one we saw from Florimo at the other end of the field. He was able to hold off Gary Larson. And Parramatta score their second. Troy Campbell doesn't get many. That's an important one with Stuart Kelly to convert.
Kelly's conversion from right in front, no problems. They can get you a lot of points. Kickers who can drop kick accurately. Norths, of course, have got Taylor in their side, and Peter's explained that, but Lawler and Kelly, they can match him. This is Gary Larson, picked up by Campbell and Jason Smith. They're just outside the 30-metre line. Fairley then, and Taylor, and Butner, and Larson. Good defence by Parramatta. It was beautiful ball work by North Sydney. Hard to defend against, but they got right up in their face and they forced the error.
I'm just wondering whether I thought that might have gone against Parramatta.
No.
Nathan Barnes getting a hand in there. That's not the case. So he did an excellent job.
Just under 5 minutes now of the first half to go, and Parramatta leading by 12 to 4. 2 converted tries. Lawler. Pulled down by Taylor. Nigel Roy. And now Bell weaving his way down to the 40-metre line. Much trimmer Jason Bell, as I pointed out earlier. I think Parramatta's going to see a good year from him. He and Jason Smith and Jim Dimmick doing a lot of work in the centre. Now they're on the 30-metre line. On the end of the tackle count as Dimmick displays his strength, able to stand, keep the ball alive, and then it goes to ground behind Jason Smith. Shane Werrett has been told to come back. There was a knock on.
Well, the idea was good, but the execution was poor. Jim Dimmick realised if he could scoop it up to Shane Werrett, he'd created an overlap on the left-hand side for the Eels. Good defence from North Sydney. Great strength from Jim Dimmick. Change over in possession with under 4 minutes left in this first half.
Sydney putting Florimo back into the action. Dallas. Right of the ground now. Florimo, not Florimo, but Nigel Roy it is that scoots away from dummy half. The Parramatta defence alert. Good gain in ground. No dummy half, and Lawler has the ball for Parramatta. That's a bad mistake there by the Bears. This is Barnes. Smith handling across, cutting out McCracken. This is Kelly. Butner equal to the task. McCracken now down the right of the ground, picked up and driven with his own momentum there by Eichen. Kelly running an angle. Fairley picks him up in cover. Now, I would have thought there was a marker there, and David Manson agrees. He's given the penalty to the Bears.
A touch of inexperience there from Stuart Kelly, only his second year in the top grade. Marker was definitely in position.
David Fairley then. And this is Reba. Florimo. Fairley. Jason Smith on David Fairley. The big men of the game. McCracken coming in to help Jason Smith. Dallas then. Away from dummy half as he's given a decoy run by Taylor. Reba looks around for Florimo. That's another decoy run. No, it's not. He's decided to give it to Florimo, and they come on the left of the ground. Larson away. And now Matt Sears piles on the speed down the left of the ground, comes in field. Parramatta's defence covers. Reba pushes it forward. Then Taylor. Barnes was left clutching at mid-air. Florimo scores. Florimo scores. A beautifully put together try.
Yeah, what a pass from Jason Taylor. Sensational stuff there from the Bears as they come back against the Parramatta side, which has looked pretty good in the opening stanza. Some nice work also from that man Reba. And what's this from Taylor? First the swerve, and that around the corner ball to Florimo. He gets his second.
And that shot shows beautiful work there from North Sydney. Tremendous footwork from both Reba and Jason Taylor. No trouble with that one directly in front to take his side to the lead. 1 minute to go, and Parramatta, they'll be desperate to make sure they can score again before the stroke of half-time and go in to the break with a lead.
Campbell it is that takes the first tackle to the 40-metre line. Brett Dallas needs one more try to equal Terry Hill at the top of the leaderboard of tries. Terry from Manly scoring 7. Brett Wells 6. McCracken it is. 25 metres away from the Bears line. Can Parramatta score? They've got 25 seconds in which to do it. Lawler. And he's pulled down about 12 metres out, held down as long as possible by Butner. Bell looks around. Campbell's on his left. He comes right for Smith. And Smith it is that gets away from Fairley, gets away from another Nigel Roy, and goes over Jason Smith. 5 seconds from the break, and Parramatta extend their lead.
He's a very strong player and skillful player, Jason Smith. Struggled with injury last year, still played a lot of football. Chris Lawler now. This is a very important kick. 6-point lead at the moment for the Eels. They can put this one over North Sydney, needing to score twice in the second stanza at least.
The first 10 minutes is gone as Lawler off the left foot converts the try, scored by Jason Smith. Parramatta with this handy break. 18 points to 10, 3 tries. They've converted each of them against the Bears, 2 tries and 1 conversion. So an 8-point break. It's a nice cushion for Parramatta as they strive to win the $65,000 first prize in the Coca-Cola World Sevens. Brian Smith wants to talk to them during the break. We'll do that right now. We'll come back to you in a moment live from the Sydney Football Stadium. Live to the Sydney Football Stadium. The players ready. Second half, Parramatta leading by 18 to 10. 3 tries to 2. And their goal kicking has been a touch more accurate as well. So 10 minutes of the final remaining and $65,000 for the winning check. 30,000 to the losing club. As North Sydney's Greg Florimo puts that right hand up in the face of Shane Werrett before offloading for Matt Sears. And they're about 25 metres out from their own line, the Bears. Fairley angling across, looking to find somebody to come off him. Florimo's still with him, and that's a very good run by David Fairley. Almost to the halfway line. This would be their third tackle as Taylor gives it along the line for Butner to draw and then provide, and then Lycan puts it down, and that's what Parramatta's been looking for. 45 away from their own line. And North's unable to use their 6 tackle.
Sorry, Ray. The Eels employing a very good sliding defence. Jim Dimmick tries to get an arm free, forcing North Sydney to go to the sideline and hopefully run out of space. There's Dimmick again. The Weaver's magic.
Here's Werrett. And met over there by Sears. Pulled down, 1-on-1. You don't want to give him a start and try and catch him because that's impossible. Bell now across the line for Lawler. Jason Smith is lurking. Lawler got a ball down over the top for Nathan Barnes to race away and score. That'll make Parramatta hard to run down. 22 to 10.
You think they're
He's put it under the black dot too.
Yeah, you think they're unbeatable now. Great work there from Barnes. Some shoddy North's defence out wide. And remember, this came from a turnover from a loose ball. And North's paying for their own mistakes.
Put that one down to Chris Lawler as well. He put the big sidestep on Michael Butner, got outside Butner and attracted the winger to come in defence. And that allowed Nathan Barnes to run to the line. He was able to step back inside Butner once again. Chris Lawler takes his team to a 14-point lead. Still plenty of time to go in this game, just on 8 minutes. It is a big lead in this final.
The World Sevens provides the man of the series. I'm fairly certain it will come from this match. In fact, I think that's mandatory. North now try to regroup. And Gary Larson it is that'll go in and score under the posts. Doesn't score a lot of tries, Gary, but he's in for this one at 24-14.
Oh, just see the speed of the man. It's funny when you see a loose ball on the ground and just see here, everyone stops dead. What's going to happen? Well, Gary picks it up. There's a gap there. The Parramatta defence is flat-footed, and away he goes.
You see Gary Larson there when he picked the ball up. He almost looked at the referee to see if he was going to pull play up. That made it even worse for Parramatta. They started ball watching. Before they knew it, Larson was clean through for a soft try.
Taylor converting. That's 12 from 15 for Taylor. kicked enough goals really to win a couple of football matches in sevens. Parramatta then by 8 points, still in front by that half-time margin. Dimmick showing it and reaching the 30-metre line before taking the tackle. There's not and doesn't have to be the urgency with Parramatta, although I think it'll probably be the wrong plan if they drop off what they've been doing. They've been in a positive, adventurous mood. To go back into a shell would be probably the wrong thing. Campbell is on the 20-metre line now. Lawler, he's played very well, Chris Lawler, but none better than this boy Jason Bell. And there's a beautifully directed pass for Kelly. Parramatta gets their 5th try.
Well, you can call him, Rabs. Jason Taylor, selective cutout pass to Stuart Kelly. He's a tremendous player in traffic, Jason Bell. Very, very strong, great on his feet. Good vision there to see Kelly unmarked on the left-hand side of the field. And it was important that the Eels scored in that set of 6. Still a long time to go in this game. North Sydney were coming.
Laura with a bit of work to do here. All the tries have been beautifully placed for him, but this time there is no joy. 28 points to 16, 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining as Norths take us into the next session of play. It's rapid fire, and you're watching a final which is of 20 minutes duration compared with 7x7 in all other matches. Now for Phil, and then Reaver. Taylor angles back in, trying to promote players down the blind side, but Parramatta stayed alert in defence, and that's a bad mistake there by Morse. Fairly easily put into touch by McCracken. Norse look as though the fire has gone out. Everybody had them as the winners, particularly when Sydney City and Newcastle and Manly fell by the wayside, but Parramatta are just totally outplaying them. There's Barnes. A big purchase for Parramatta last year. And now Dimmick. Probably doesn't look to be the biggest rugby league player, and he's not, but per pound he's very strong. And he displays that to great advantage in sevens. Again Barnes. Where it might go for a run himself. No, he offloads for Bell, and then Dimmick. Bell supports. McCracken is with it, puts a fend on, turns it in. Smith back in, Bell there. Now Dimmick, then Smith. No, the dummy beat everybody. Dimmick still with it, into the 20-metre zone. Looks around for Jason Smith. Where one is, the other's sure to be. They're 15 out. Smith probes the blind. McCracken will score, or Smith does himself. McCracken was unmarked. Smith said, I'll do it myself.
Well, they're set for a big year, aren't they, Parramatta? Brian Smith, their new coach, a good start for him. And you call it Rose wherever one is. The other one is not far behind Smith and Dimmick.
Well, they're great players to follow, aren't they?
Well, you'd be crazy not to. They're tremendously strong. They can get the arms through. They can attract a couple of defenders at a time. And they're just very, very skillful men. Now, the kind of players that Parramatta have needed for a little while now, along with speed, and with the signing of Shane Werrett, Stuart Kelly coming on, and Paul spoke about the perfect blend of North Sydney, Parramatta starting to accumulate the same kind of mixture.
$32 points to 16. 2 3/4 minutes left in the final. And the Bears are going to continue their long wait. Larson is brought down on the 30-metre line. Across now for Butner. Taylor. Lycan offering him a man on his inside. Taylor flung down by Kelly. He had a good year last year, Kelly. And there's big things, I'm sure, on offer for him this year under Brian Smith. Now Taylor links up on the blind side. There's a man unmarked on the left. Larson scores another try. 32 points to 20. They won't waste any time with the kick. Time very much against them, North Sydney. Gary Larson unmarked out on the left wing, and the kick from way out there from Taylor, an absolute beautiful drop kick.
Well, this game is not over. We've got a 10-point margin, still a minute 30 on the clock. If North Sydney can force a mistake from the Eels in this set of 6 or get turnover in good field position, they're not out of this match. They can score length of the field tries, as we've seen in this tournament.
Campbell. 1 1/4 minutes exactly. Bell. And monster there by Florimo. Jason slow to rise, and one would understand if Parramatta played a slower brand of football now, less passing, even standing back and inviting the defence to come to them. Lawler.
Really, Ray, if they can't score in this set of 6, kick into the in-goal area and try and force a line dropout would wrap this game up. They're obviously playing for time here, but they're running out of tackles. It might be the best option at the end.
Well, there's Dimmick looking for Shane Werrett. They used it earlier to great advantage, but Matt Sears, he's left the ball behind. And I think he's awarded possession to Shane Werrett with 6 more tackles at their disposal. And Dimmick will play it now, 8 metres out from the line, 20 seconds on the clock. Werrett puts in a kick for himself, knocked on by David Fairley. The Eels will have the loose head and feed.
Stop waving your arms around, Sterlo.
Oh, you talk about North Sydney waiting a long time. It's been a fair wait for Parramatta as well, and the supporters counting down on the clock. The Eels get the money.
So David Manson takes the siren, no need for any more. 32-22, the Eels have won by 10 the Coca-Cola World Sevens, and we'll have the cup presentation and the player of the series for you, the announcements and presentations of both on the other side of this break from the Sydney Football Stadium. And welcome back to the Sydney Football Stadium. Let's take you down to the dais now for the presentation. And here's the Australian Rugby League's Brad Levy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've just witnessed a great finale to a wonderful weekend of Sevens football, with Parramatta emerging victorious over North Sydney by 32 points to 22. In the Cup final, their first championship win in the 10-year history of the Sevens event. Joining me on stage to make the presentations, the Chairman of the Australian Rugby League, Mr. Ken Arthurson, the Honourable Gabrielle Harrison, Minister for Sport and Recreation, Tournament Director Mr. Colin Love, and Mr. David Craig, the New South Wales Sponsorship Manager for Coca-Cola Amatil. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Craig.
Thank you, Brad. Before we get into the presentation of the Cup and the Player of the Tournament Award, I'd just like to pay a tribute to some people who have contributed so much towards the success of this weekend. Firstly, to Colin Love. Colin and his team have put on a very professional tournament once again this year, and as the major sponsors Coca-Cola, we're delighted with the way the event has run. Secondly, to the Coca-Cola people, and there's 4 of them here around me today. The Coke people have done us all very proud in the last few days, not just this weekend. And thirdly, I'd like to thank the players who have had to put up with some unbelievable conditions in the last 2 days, and it's a testimony to their skill and their fitness that the standard of the play has been so high. Lastly, I'd like to thank you, the spectators, for coming along to support the event, particularly those who've hung around to see the Parramatta team get presented with their trophy. Bad luck to the North Sydney guys, but congratulations to Parramatta. Thank you.
Thank you, David. It's now my pleasure to welcome to the microphone the Chairman of the Australian Rugby League, Mr. Ken Arthurson.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Australian Rugby League, I'd like to thank you all for being here. We've had 2 exciting and fun-filled days of rugby league football. and I know you'll all agree with me in saying that Parramatta were worthy winners of the Cup. I know one person in this crowd that will be particularly thrilled with that result, and of course that is our Minister Gabriel Harrison, and of course that is the electorate for which she is the member. So it was a great thrill for her, and I'd like also to take the opportunity of congratulating Balmain and St George clubs respectively on their great victory in the trophy and the plate. And I should also just quickly like to take the opportunity of saying thank you to Coca-Cola. This is the 10th year of our sevens, our international sevens, and Coca-Cola have been a magnificent sponsor, as has been Qantas, who of course is Australia's #1 airline, and without Qantas this tour or this tournament certainly wouldn't have been possible. But ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the ARL, thank you for everything. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much,
All
Ken.
right, well, we'll leave it there with those words from the chairman, Ken Arthurson. The player of the series, incidentally, was Troy Campbell, and that was picked by the press writers of those gathered here. That takes us away for about 3 weeks until the season proper starts from the Sydney Football Stadium. Good night.